I was listening to Russell. He's a Canadian artist. It's $86. Basically, the song called, and I'm kind of as I'm listening to this song, and I was thinking about what to say in my next video, and you know, before I came in this world, you know, this world is set up in a way that there's so much confusion and uh, there's so much negativity that one is confused of or one is not even aware of how the nuances of getting through this lifetime. And you know, I I re- I recall when I was 5 years old, like I had so much memory. It was, I don't know if I would say memory recall. I would have dreams of how, and visions of how this life would turn out, how things were. I remember a lot of things. I couldn't put the pieces together. Like, for example, I remember when I was in my mom's womb, and and I would feel her heart. Like, I could put my hand around her heart and feel her heartbeat. I remember the images in my mind. Uh, I would have visions, but I wouldn't know what to call them. And I remember a time when I was very sensitive when I was a kid. And every time, like, I felt like I, I was in an environment of darkness, but I felt, no, when I came out, when I was born, like, before you were born, it's like you're in a place of peace. It depends, but at the same time, a place of limbo. And I felt, no, so in my mom's room, before I even got there, um, I felt like I was dropped in 50 flavors of fucked upness, like just wackoness. It's like all of this, it's like a bunch, it's like a lot of trauma, and then you just wake up, and but before you wake up, the transition, like, so it's one stage of whack up fucked upness of hell. But I remember in my mom, when I was born, when I was in my mom's room, I was at peace, and then all of a sudden I woke up and I was in hell. And I always try to wonder why I'm here. Like, why did I chose to come in this world? And there was always, even though when I was growing up, and there was a lot of wicked and evil things that were going on around me, there was always a part of me, like a voice inside of my chest. Like, I felt like it was a soul. Like, so there were voices in my head. Okay, there were urges in my body that was pushing me to do evil things. But, and I didn't have any control over that. And but the voice in my chest, in my heart, always directed me where to go. And I held on to that. I held on to that because that was more powerful. That was more me. The more it came a point, the voice was so loud in my chest. I believe if the voice was not loud enough in my chest or in my heart, because I would hear like a voice talking to me. It was like it was me, but it was a more powerful me. Because the voice in my chest, it gave me multiple chances. Every time I would screw up or do things that were not right, it would give me multiple chances. It would protect me and communicate with me to let me know, okay, what you did was not right, but you're given multiple chances to change. You are given chances to be better. But when you do not listen and you keep repeating those things, it comes a point when you have to be taught a lesson. It comes a point where you have to go through the experience of pain. And so I remember as I was younger and shit was hitting the fan, like the voice inside is not as loud as it was when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, there was so much darkness inside, and sometimes that's what your soul does. Like depending on how much darkness is inside of you and how much evil is in you, right? I believe the soul, depending on who you are, or if you're aware, or if you're sensitive enough to feel or to understand yourself deeper, your soul will talk to you. It will communicate with you. It will make it known to you that it's alive and that you must listen. Like it will force you to listen. And that's how it was for me when I was younger. When things were not where it seemed to be, and when things were, everything that I was taught was backwards. For example, stealing, lying, manipulating, conning people, anything, learning how to be violent, anything that was negative. I was taught one way of looking at the world and being a certain way, and a voice inside of me was telling me, no, that's not the way to be. It was whatever I was taught, it was a stronger voice inside saying no. It was like speaking to me, no, you cannot do that. This is not the way to be. This is not who you are. You are better than that. And that was the voice that always kind of pushed me or propelled me, or the voice that always anytime someone would say something, I would look up to an adult and tell them, no, you're wrong. I'll call them out on it. And that was the same voice that got me through many years as a kid, when I was losing my mind, when I was losing control. And when I was trying to, even though I was doing things that was not right, deep inside, I was fighting to do the right thing. Deep inside, I wanted to be better. And that's why I started watching shows like Smallville, Clark Kent. Tom Welling is a disappointment because he he's part of the cabal, but he's part of the whole. I used to look up to him, and that's what I'm saying. Heroes, like these celebrities, are not who they say they claim to be. But I used to look up to, Tom Welling, because he had not in the show, he had a pure heart. Clark Kent, he had a pure heart, and he always carried himself of, you cannot kill, and you try to do the right thing, and you always see the best in people, and regardless of their flaws. And I felt like it made me. I felt like I was understood, because no matter what you do in this world, or how far you go in the deep end, you can still be redeemed. You can still be a better person. You can still choose to do the right thing. You can still choose a better path. You're not doomed, okay? And I was having a conversation. I'm sidetracking, but I will come back to what I'm feeling right now. And I was having a conversation with my older sister, and she said to me, those people who kill and murder and in prisons, they deserve to rot. They deserve to be in hell, and they ain't going anywhere. And I said to her, that's not true. You're wrong. And she said, you're crazy. What are you talking about? I'm wrong. I said, there's such thing as reincarnation, and reincarnation exists. So they might be in prison and stay in jail for the rest of their life in this lifetime. But depending on the trauma and the pain that they experience in this lifetime, the next life that they come in, they might not want to, go down that path. So that path will be shown to them again in the next lifetime that they reincarnate. And because things repeat itself, certain paths follow you to the next life. Anything that you've done in your previous lifetime, it follows you. The question is, will you be strong enough to not walk down that path? For example, in this lifetime, I was pushed multiple times to join the army, to be a part of the military and stuff like that. It was like forced on me, and I always say no. I never believed in going to the army and fighting wars. I never wanted to die. That's that sensation I got when I was a kid. I didn't want to die. And that's a strong feeling I had. And I could have went that path. But when I was 18 and I went to Mexico, the truth was revealed to me why I had this sense of fear, or I resented it, because I remember when I took peyote, I remember going to the war, fighting wars, and I remember my friends dying right in front of me, in my arms. One of them had their arms torn off, the other one was shot, they both were in my arms, dying in my arms, and I was screaming, calling out their names. And then that's when I was killed. So that's why now I understood at that moment why I didn't sign up for wars, why I did not join the army or join anything, because even though I didn't have the memory recollection, or I didn't have the ability, I still had, my soul still can feel. My soul was able to remember, even though I wasn't conscious of it. The soul inside knows, so it directs you to where to go. And so when I would now get back to watching Smallville, I would watch that show, and I would, I would want to be a hero, and I would want to be good. And so every time I would watch that show, or Supernatural, even though Sam and Dean, like, let's be honest, we both know the things that they do in that show. I know 100%, 100% they're part of a secret society. But what the good I'm taking out of that show is the two guys, well, women, but two people, basically, there's two people facing impossible odds to save the world, to beat the impossible. And that's how my life has been. A series of trying to beat the impossible. A series of trying to go against the darkness inside of you. That, trying to bring out the best of you, even though things are not perfect and you're not perfect, and you're trying to be better. I remember, and I always felt like I needed saving. And so when I was going to school, I was always trying to help people, because that would make me feel happy. That's what made me happy. And I would see people being bullied in school because all the things that I was experiencing as a kid, helping someone else made me feel good. And it made me feel that I can wash away the pain that I've caused or inflicted on myself. And so let me go back to, yes, so my sister, she said to me, so you're saying you can kill, you can murder people, and you can do wicked stuff, and you can be redeemed, and you can change? You crazy. There's no hope for these people. They don't change. And I said, you're wrong. Because you cannot stay in a state of evil forever. You have to be, once upon a time you were pure light. And in fact, we play multiple sides, or we take multiple forms, because we have been here more than millions of years. We have been reincarnating over and over and over again. So you could have been anything. You could have been on the dark side. You could have been on the bright side. You could have been a tree, a rock. Like, I remember being bugs. I remember being nature. I remember being a rock. I remember being a cybernetic robot. And one lifetime I was in a lab, and I was conscious, and I was screaming to get out of the body, and the scientist was tuning my body, and I was trying to get out of it, and I didn't want to be there, but I was tortured. My soul was forced to be in that predicament due to past life mistakes. And so I also, what was I going to say? I forgot. It's not good. Whoops. Damn it. But yeah, so I think I lost my train of thought. I had something on my mind, and then I somehow forgot it. Um, but yeah, you know, even when I was a kid, I always knew I was different, and I always knew how my life was going to play out. You know, you don't always know everything. You don't always get all the pieces of information or the whole picture, but most of the time you are aware of how things are going to play. So because I knew when I was a kid, sorry, my eyes are itching. It's itching. I not too long ago got up because you okay. So for me, I always knew that in this lifetime I was going to be alone, and I always knew that I was seeking help to redeem myself, seeking help to change who I am. I always had a feeling inside I I wanted to be pure. I wanted to be clean. I wanted to be better. I wanted to live again, be free. I always wanted that feeling. I always wanted to be free. Free from family ties, free from um, you know, contracts that keep me in bondage, free from pain, just pain. And for me, the more pain I experience, the more it kind of pushed me to go in and kind of show more love, kind of understand, understand what love really means, and understand to push more outer and to feel like I think in this lifetime, for me, it was about mentally. I might not be as intelligent as you may say book smart, but emotionally I was very wise and smart to feel and understand things on a deeper level. And I think that's what got me far, because I think that's why in this lifetime I was I had some limitations placed on me, because if I had the ability to be more intellect in my mind, then I would inevitably go back to the dark side. Because for me, the more smarter one is, they neglect. And you see this all the time. You cannot say this is not true, because people who more intellectual, they go to school. They get higher degrees. They get good grades. They listen to everything that goes on TV. Nothing is bad, and everything is what it is, and you're just playing, and then people, you don't take things seriously, and so you're trying to chase the sky. You're trying to chase and chase and chase. But you never really see what's really going on around you. You never really understand the fundamentals of life. You get a car, you get degrees, and you get everything that you want out of life. But the cost that you got it, you lost your soul in the process. And you never really discover who you are. And I feel, for me, this is why in this lifetime, intellectually, I was limited. And I was forced to become more spiritual. And I was, when I was a kid, my family would try to make me religious, but I couldn't do it. Like, I've always felt like I was in bondage. I always felt like it was forced down my throat, and that wasn't me. And I always felt, religion was fake. I thought it was a bunch of garbage because I saw people kill under the name of God, or kill under the name of um of kill, rape, and do evil, wicked things for God. And if you say that you're doing this for God, isn't God a powerful or light being of energy, of love? If God's an energy of love, why would you kill? If God's an energy of love, of creation, of everything, why would you do all these wicked things under the name of God? So that means you're wrong. You have to reevaluate and look at yourself. If you can say that you're doing this for God, there's something wrong with you. So this is why I can never really believe in religion. I can never really, because it holds you in bondage, and it never allows you to be free to do or be who you want to be. You have to follow a book, and that book directs you and tells you where to go, where to be, and that's not me. That was never me, and that's why I can never be any part of any religion. I can take some good things from it, and and use it for my life, for whatever's good, but I can never follow it to the T, because it will never be you. And everyone has something special inside of them that makes them unique, that makes them different. And yeah, so so I always knew in this life I would be alone, and I always knew in this lifetime, because the burdens that I carry, and because of my past, I always knew that I would lose everything that I care about, and but at the end of my life, or basically, I will find peace. And when I took ayahuasca or peyote, it was clear to me that I was communicating, and I was letting them know I saw myself ascending, and basically letting them know I wanted to be redeemed. I wanted to be loved, because I never got that when I was a kid. I just wanted to be loved. I just wanted to be understood. I wanted to be accepted. But no matter how hard, how much I wanted to be accepted, I could never be accepted by the world. And so you have to be accepted by yourself. You have to accept yourself, and you have to heal yourself. And that's the hardest thing you can tell somebody when they're going through a lot of pain, is accept yourself, love yourself, and forgive yourself for all the pain that you have caused, for everything that you went through. I saw my future. Basically, at the end of my life, I'm on this. I have a lot of land, and I'm with my family and kids, and I have peace. I finally have peace, and there's chaos going on in the world, but where I'm at is I'm happy, and it doesn't affect me anymore. So I leave everything behind me, and I'm living out the rest of my days in harmony. And everything that's happening to me right now, I might not have seen some things, but most things that are happening in my life right now, I've already seen that before. I already seen that in my dreams, in my visions. Like when I was a kid, I saw a lot of things that was going to happen to me now, and which are happening. Some of them are some things are altered because of certain choices I've made to become more positive, but certain things are happening um, that will lead me to the end, and having a more peaceful life. So also another thing I want to bring up, when I was in uh, I will bring this up on another video. This video is pretty long. um I'm bring up two things, and then I'm gonna talk about that in the other video. So when you're trying to, if you have family members that don't understand you or think you're crazy, and you're trying to seek a path of liberating yourself and becoming more one with yourself and more in tune with yourself, they're gonna call you crazy. They're gonna look at you crazy. They're gonna do whatever that they can to bring you down, to stop you, because they want you to be just like them. And I understood. One, I understood I was dying. Two, I understood they could not. None of my family members could help me. There was nobody who was able to help me. Okay, I was dying, and they were not able to help me. And that's just a fact. And if it wasn't the voice inside, the voice that was very loud, like nowadays, the voice inside is not as loud as it was back then, because I believe it's done its job. And once you take out a lot of darkness, it depends. It kind of sits back and observes and lets you decide, because technically the person that is talking is on, it's like it's driving, but inside there's a soul that's a higher consciousness that's aware of everything. So yes, so when I started changing my diet, and when I was feeling tremendous amount of pain in my body, the journey to going to Mexico was a difficult one, because my family members tried to tell me, you're going to die, you're going to take drugs, and I wasn't going to take drugs. I was going to heal, but I couldn't tell them that because they wouldn't understand. Threatened to kick me out. They had people sent after me to tell me, don't do this. I'm going to disown you. And I said to myself, I don't like. And there was so much pressure to go the other way, to go the opposite way. You are dying inside, okay? And nobody can help you. You're trying to find a way out. You're trying to find a way to feel again. It's been a long time coming since I've seen your face. And it's a song, One Republic, To Feel Again. And so I was basically, what ended up happening, not listening to them, being relentless. I went to Mexico, and it was the best thing I could have ever done. The best thing I could have ever done. And you're going to have doubts. You're going to have these demonic entities in your body fighting you. You're going to have fights in your dreams. You're going to have things happening in your dreams, and memory recall, or they might is total recall. But you have to push through all that, and you have to go. Okay, whatever thoughts, whatever fears, whatever bullshit that you're going through, if you want to feel better, if you want to remember who you are, if you want to, if you look at this world and you say to yourself, There's more to what I am seeing here. This cannot be it. This cannot be my life. Go to sleep, wake up, go to work, come back, and I'm stuck. Okay? Get up, go to sleep, go to work, and I'm stuck. And I'm just like everybody else. And the world's falling apart, and I'm falling apart with everybody else. So that cannot be my fate. That cannot be, this cannot be it for me, This cannot be it. I feel like something's missing. I look at the world and I feel like this world is not what it seems. Why do I feel this way? If you are feeling that, do never ignore that. If you ignore that, you're going to regret it. Because what's going to end up happening, you're going to go to sleep, you're going to end up getting old, die, and then forget and keep coming back and doing the same shit over and over again. And you might have a 50 flavors of wacko-ness reincarnating, and then one lifetime you wake up and like, yo, where all this time go? I feel so old. But then you're young, but you feel very old. And then like, I felt like I did this before. I don't know. But something just feels like deja vu. Duh. So you have to, whatever that you feel inside, you must listen to yourself and find a way to escape this world. Because this world is not all that is, and go home. Go back to where you naturally came from, where you're naturally born from. Peace, love, and positivity. It doesn't matter what you've done. You can be redeemed. You can be redeemed. You can change. It's a choice. Being better is a choice. Changing is a choice. Okay? That is your birthright. It doesn't matter what you have done. You can be better. You can choose to rise, or you can choose being in the dark, joining the dark side and causing havoc and hurting people. And in the end, you're going to have to pay for what you've done, because you can never be in the dark side forever. What I've learned taking these medicine, you will be forced to love. Like the medicine, ayahuasca, iboga, San Pedro, mapacho, weed, you will be forced to show more love. You will break down in tears and understand, oh my God, there's such thing as love.